Welcome back to Etheria Restart. Today I'm here with my boy Hermes, and we're going to be talking about the state of the game of Etheria Restart. What is the game looking like? What's the future projections? And how do we honestly feel about the gameplay in its current state and what we are projecting and predicting is going to be coming over the next couple of weeks to the next month or so. Now, before I go any further, I need to thank Etheria Restart for sponsoring the video. I love having them as a sponsor. We love playing the game, and I appreciate it every single time. If you guys want to play the game, join alongside of both Hermes and myself. QR code is right here. Gives you 10 free summons, which could be very valuable in the very near future. Hint, hint. And there's also a link in the description that you guys can join into the game as well. We're running some Doki Doki here in the background as we go through our discussions. Hermes, thanks for coming through, man. I love how typically Hermes comes in the channel, he's my expert. He comes with the guides and he comes with the builds. And then I come with you guys and bring you all the latest up-to-date stuff solo. But let's talk about just state of the game. How are you feeling about Etheria Restart right now in this current moment before we even look at like projections of what we're expecting to come?
Yeah, I think that honestly, like, the game is in a really interesting place right now. Obviously, they're still trying to find their spot in the current space of just like in the gaming industry as a whole, the gacha game, whatever you want to call it. And I think that there are some really good things they've done in comparison to other games, and I think that there are some not so good things that they've done as well. And so I think that this just right now is kind of a very, I'd say, fragile time for them, making sure that they're making good decisions as a development team, as a outreach, and kind of like not only getting people hyped, but also making sure that the players you already have, you're taking care of them, making sure people want to stay playing the game and keeping it exciting. Because I know that sometimes that can be a little bit of a difficulty with games, is not just bringing new players in, because it's cool to bring in new players or these flashy new join promos, but then also giving the existing players good content to play that's not like ridiculous and going to take up your entire day, but that you'll be able to feel accomplished when you get done, while not taking like I'm saying, forever to actually get done.
Man, you just brought up so much in that alone. First of all, the promos to get new players in. You gotta have stuff that's gonna make new players want to join. So like your 1 week login, you get yourself a free champion, or in this case, a free animus. You gotta have something that's gonna make someone that's never played, someone that's watching this video right now say, oh, I really should start playing this game because there's great promos that are gonna lure me in. But then on top of that, you don't want to lose those players after a month. You got to keep them locked and falling in love with the game, addicting, and not only addicting gameplay and fun gameplay, but also just keeping it fair and bringing great opportunities to existing players as well. Even for spenders, packs that are good packs that are valuable, where they're going to actually be getting good value if they are spending inside of the game, or great opportunities for free to play as well. Now, something that I've always said about Etheria Restart is they really do seem fairly in touch with their community. They're very vocal about what their plans are, and I know that they're listening to what the community says. I know this because I'm sponsored by them. I know that they have contact with a lot of us creators. They take any comments and things that they see in our videos, and we can share that content with them as well. So if you have any suggestions, recommendations, etc., please share them in the comments. And they make some changes. And as you've said, it's not always perfect. But the way that I see it, someone that's always a glass half full kind of guy, is they're making strides in the right direction. So let's talk about, they have a new event that they announced. It's like a guaranteed light dark unit summons. Hermes, when I go look at I'm going back to our main screen right now, and I take a look at all of my animus that I have here, I'll notice that I'm missing a bunch of light dark units. They're just more difficult to get, right? They just have less chances of pulling. So Doki Doki, Mio, Masai, Yelly, don't have them on the account yet. But there is going to be an opportunity to do a summon event where you can summon a guaranteed light dark SSR. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that? And then I'll get into banners themselves and how they work.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is that obviously this is to bring in a lot of new players. So something that I've seen is going to happen is that the plan, I think, is on Etheria's part, from the news and all the rumors and stuff like that I've heard, is that the plan is that obviously they're going global. They're releasing in a lot of new countries, making sure they've got a lot of new stuff coming through, and there's just a lot of new people are going to be able to play the game. And so they're saying, look, like we'll get you guys to come in and we'll get you a free LD unit. Now, what people are going to have to understand is what they're really doing, what they're coming in and doing is they're saying, hey, we're going to give you Lily at the start of the game. Lily is the most powerful light dark, if not most powerful unit in the game, period, as far as support goes. The easiest time you're going to have is with a Lily. I mean, I remember when you pulled your Lily in your account, we were both absolutely stoked, couldn't believe it. Then, you didn't use Lily at first because you didn't fully understand it. And so I think what's going to be interesting is that people are going to take it two ways. Number one, obviously, you're going to have the players are going to go, I'm going to go watch a YouTube video. It's going to say, pull Lily. I'm going to pull Lily, and I'm going to have a great time. And there are going to be those players that are going to go, well, I kind of think this character's cool, so I'm going to go with this one. And then both those options are great. But the big reason why they're doing this is to catch all those players up. So they really want to make sure that everyone kind of is in a quote-unquote even playing field, if that even exists, to a certain degree. And so they want to try to help those new players catch up to where everyone else is by making it easier to get into the Inferno dungeons, start farming for everything else. I mean, you see Shadow Sonya is a great one once you get into the later game, but really, or honestly, early on in the game, she's not going to help you a whole lot. I mean, for you didn't start using her until probably 2 months into the game.
Yeah, more recently, yeah.
You just weren't needing her. Obviously, you've pulled like 4 dupes of her, so you've got your fair share of Shadow Sonya in general. But it's like stuff like that. And then you think about it, you also have, I'm pretty sure that they'll still have their initial selector of get your guaranteed RGB unit on your first 40 pulls as well. So just like basically you're gonna get a lot of new units coming to the game. I mean, also just think about how many pulls you get early on. I mean,
hundreds.
I remember for you were doing like 200 summons every couple of days just because you got so many from so many different areas in the game, and it's crazy just how much you were getting. And I think that's one of the strong suits is they give you so many summons, but then the problem they can really run into is that they don't give you much of anything else.
Yeah. So upgrading and getting those animus to the places you want them to be. Like, even notice here we were talking about Lily. I haven't even put any lattice into her A3 right here, her S3. She's got it into her S1 and S2. S3 doesn't, just because we have to be so careful on where we drop our lattice because it's not something that's very easy to get. With that being said, I think they are having a free drop event. We just posted that in yesterday's video. More details, go check the update video, please. But we are going to be getting some perfect lattice in an incoming update or very soon. I saw it in the calendar, which will help you on your way towards getting some of those updates. But I have to say, they are very generous with their summons. Like, I've gotten all the SRs, most of the SSRs, and about half of the LD SSRs. And now that there's an opportunity to do a guaranteed summons, that means when you have 80 summons, you can get to choose your SSR Dark that you want incoming. That's huge for someone like myself. But we can't sleep on those SRs as well. We got Didding dropping damage like a boss all over the place in so many of our dungeons, and in the game overall, even in PvP. It's really been valuable, and we can't underestimate the value of some of those animus that aren't light dark SSRs. And you mentioned it about Shadow Sonya. We pulled a ton of her on the account, and I didn't start using her until like a month ago. So some of them are, like you said, for more late game. Plus, little spoiler alert right here. There's little birds chirping about some new animus being dropped in the game that, we don't know too much about it yet, but there is word that these could be very good, ones that we're going to want to keep our eyes out. So a general thing that we always say is good to do so that you're always prepared, whether you're a free-to-play player or whether you're somebody that is, that's a spender, save yourself, your anima prototypes. Save yourself so you have 80 in the bag, because if you have 80, that's a guaranteed pull of something new. Like right now, if I want this Frozen Frost Nifnel, I could get her right now, guaranteed, because guaranteed limited SSR Animus in 80 summons. Something else that's really cool about Etheria Restart, for those of you that haven't been here, is you could look at your probabilities straight up. Mine are not looking good right here. I could get the probabilities of pulling a certain Animus. Tells me what those odds are going to look like. Looking bad right now for light and darks, but it's really cool that they allow you to see that kind of stuff inside of the game. All right, summons, we got that down. We know that the developers know where the game is. They know that it's doing well. They want it to do better. They are going to be launching globally as well very soon. I just saw an announcement of that. So the more global we are, the more players enter the game. Talk to me about PvP, Hermes. How you been feeling about just the PvP gameplay overall? Because after all, this game is focused on PvP. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think PvP is a really interesting part of this game, and I think it comes into the meta right now for PvP is in a difficult place for a lot of players, and the reason why is because like there's three different play styles you can go with. You can go with cleave, which is basically just you're trying to just nuke out your opponent and then just do a butt ton of damage and then take them out, right? Then there's another one which is the bruiser meta, which is basically you take the tankiest animus you can, you put them into your team, and then you just try to over time slowly wear down your opponent and make sure that you're able to basically just outlast them throughout the battle. And as the Etheria effect takes over, when the Etheria effect, if anyone's wondering, basically means that you do more damage, you take less healing as a battle goes on, so they don't last forever. And basically you just are able to outlast your opponent in that. And then the third one is the CC meta, or the CC, I guess, play style, which is basically you just crowd control your opponent until, again, that Ethereum effect takes over and you do enough damage and they can't do enough healing, and you just win a battle because your opponent can't take turns. And that was actually something that in a recent video we did about the Kazuyo, the Revelry, which you see in this team, was actually talked about because she is so toxic, honestly, in PvP because of how much control is in her kit, how low her cooldowns are, everything else like that, that she is one that is not loved, I would say, in the CC area of the game just because of how much control she brings. And so for a lot of players that are not really able to build out those super tanky teams or their super high accuracy teams, they're kind of forced to play cleave, and cleave is not the meta right now. The meta right now is either you're going CC or you're going bruiser, and that's basically, you don't go one of those two, you're not going to compete very high in arena most of the time, just because of the way these other teams are built out. Because of Bloodbath, the set you get from Aurora, things like that, just make it so it's very difficult for you to be able to progress with a very, what I would call a earlier game PvP playstyle. And I think that has a negative effect on the game, because then not as many people are then going in and playing PvP as you would get if there was a little bit more of a balanced meta style, where you don't need to have maxed out everything and have these crazy good modules on all of these. Like, as far as tanky animus, obviously the better gear, the more money you've spent, the kind of better animus you're going to have, all that kind of stuff, like that makes sense. But not having such an emphasis on basically just long battles and taking as long as you can and waiting for a basically a mechanic of the game, not even your animus, to win battles. And I think that's not great for their PvP meta.
Yeah, I mean, there's metas in all turn-based strategy games that we cycle through, and it's based off of what new animus or champions or heroes come to these games. And Etheria Restart's new, right? It's only a couple of months old. We do have a lot of animus for a game that's just launched, but when we're talking long-term, compare this to other turn-based strategy games that will go unnamed that have hundreds of champions. You know, nearly closing in on 1,000 champions. The meta just opens up and gives so much more, you know, opportunity when you have so much more. That's going to come with time. As we get new animus, it's going to change. It's going to change metas, expand metas, and that is it's just the nature of this genre itself. So I only see PvP getting better. I do like the PvP meta, and I do like the PvP mechanic inside of the game. I think it's really clean and done well. I like how you can swap gear around very easily inside of this game, especially since gear is a pain point and it's difficult to get that good gear. It's definitely needed to be shared between your animus. So thanks for the breakdown on PvP. We know summons are cool. We know there's some great summons events. What are your final thoughts here on the future of Etheria Restart? I'll start out with mine. I personally think that Etheria Restart, the developers, the team, they know that they want more players, and they're going to do what it takes to bring more players in through rewards for new players, and they want to retain players, so they're going to do more things inside of the game that the current player base wants to see. This is my prediction. This is what I'm thinking just from what I'm hearing from the team, and I look forward to some of those changes and things being implemented into Etheria Restart. So yeah, my point is download it now, get involved so that you're here, getting that head start, and actually being able to you know, take advantage of all of those things that are coming to the game. How about you, Hermes? What's your honest opinion?
I think I do agree that they're going to do kind of what they need to do. I think that they need to look at, they talked about value for packs and making them a little more, the monetization a little more friendly. I haven't quite seen that up to this point. I wonder if they're waiting to launch globally before they start doing that. But I haven't really seen any new packs that are really like turning my head. And so I think that would be a good idea. Also giving us more lattice. Perfect lattice is literally like the crippling point of this game, and they need to find a better way to do it, and I think that they will, and that's what I'm kind of excited for at this point, is like waiting. I think this global launch are going to clean up a lot of stuff, and really be able to add some more lattice into the game, make a little more friendly monetization, and really make those minnows and those like smaller spenders be a little more excited to spend maybe a couple extra bucks in the game, because I think it's worthwhile, as long as obviously you're getting good value for it. And I think that Etheria can figure out a good way to give value to the players while then obviously receiving value themselves. So I'm excited to see where they take this.
It's all about value, man. They need to get value from having the game out, from people spending. It's just the nature of the beast. It's a free-to-play game. They need to get paid in some way to develop it. And we as players need to get value as well from being long-term players or for being brand new. That's the strategy. Finding the balance is the key to success, and I think Etheria Restart is going to find their way. There is a lot of competition in turn-based strategy. This is not the first game that has come out in this genre. It is done very well and fixes a lot of problems that we see in other titles, but then they have the problems of their own to work on, and I think they're going to be on top of it. Again, thanks to Etheria Restart for sponsoring the video, and guys, give the game a download, give it a shot, and in the comments, let me know your suggestions, your criticisms, and, well, if you're going to start playing. Peace out.